Hey guys, welcome back to another 5-0 video. Today we're playing Simic Midrange in Modern. So we've never played this deck on the channel before. I saw some versions of this 5-0ing and it looked really interesting, so I wanted to give it a go. So I know this is labeled as a Simic Midrange list, but it's basically a Simic card advantage deck dripping with value. Every single card in this deck has some purpose. It has value when it comes down, it replaces itself, it generates a lot of card advantage, and over the course of the game, our opponents just lose all their resources. So starting with our lands, we are a Simic-based deck, but the main thing to pay attention to are the snow-covered forests and islands. So because we're running Icefang Quaddle, we need at least 3 other snow permanents in order to have Death Touch. This is super relevant, especially against large creatures like Frog, Murktide, anything we want to chump and just kill. So getting Death Touch on Icefang can be really important. Our other 2 drops are Thundertrap Trainer, which just replaces itself with a spell. We have Coiling Oracle, which either ramps us or draws a card. And then our last 2 drop is Birthing Ritual. So if we can get this out on turn 2, every other creature just evolves into something better. The best thing is actually cascading into Birthing Ritual with Shardless Agent, and then recycling Shardless Agent. So for our 3 drops, we're running a set of Oculus. This is pretty much our win condition. If we can evolve a creature using Birthing Ritual, or sometimes we're casting this, either way, it's just going to close out the game pretty quickly. We have 2 Brazen Borrower in our flex spots. This is like a good tempo card just because our deck is tempo and value based. We have a set of Flare of the Nile just to complement the Oracles, Thunder Traps, and Ice Fangs, so we can actually get the value down and then hold up a free counter. We have 2 Force and Negation, 1 Harbinger of the Seas. This is good as a 1-of because we have Birthing Ritual, so we could find it easily if we need to. This can be lights out against some decks, so having a 1-of is fine in the main. We have 4 Sink into Stupor, just a flexible land, bounce spell. We have 2 Endurance, same logic with Harbinger, and it's just great main deck graveyard hate. We have our 4 Shardless Agents with Cascade, like we talked about, cascading into all of these. And then we have 3 Subtlety. Again, these are all great tempo cards while we're trying to kind of build up our board for value. Onto our sideboard. Because we're a blue deck, obviously we have the set of Consign to Memory, good against Eldrazi decks, decks with important triggers. We have 3 Stern Scolding for small creature decks, mainly energy. 2 Collector Oofs, and a Force of Vigor for artifact decks, another Endurance for graveyard decks, Harbinger for greedy mana bases, 1 Force Negation for more counterspells, and then Mystical Dispute for counterspells against blue decks. So that is Simic Midrange in Modern. Before we get into the video, I want to talk to you guys about becoming a YouTube channel member. You'll get access to a lot of cool perks like loyalty badges, cool emotes, and early access to videos like this one. And we're also a Mana Traders content creator, so if you want to save up to 25% on your first subscription, all that information is in the description below. So if you want to see more modern content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and let's get in the gameplay. Alright, match 1 on the play. I think we can try this hand. We can Surveil turn 1, Oracle turn 2, holding up Flare of Denial, maybe eventually get an Oculus down. Let's start with the Delta. Wooded Foothills, and nothing. Let's get a Hedge Maze. Oculus, into the graveyard. Another land. Let's go Misty, just get the island here. Cast Oracle, draw Ice Fang. Not the worst. Alright, we are up against, assuming it's energy, and they keep it on top. Oh, Sunbait Canyon. So it's Storm, and we have the Flare, which is perfect here. Another Hedge Maze. And we're filling up the yard too for Oculus, which is cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in there already. So let's just go Oracle again. We hit the island, play Hedge Maze, Force, we'll keep on top, and then we'll pass. So we have Flare with Oracle, we're going to draw Force, and they just go Foothills pass. Play Misty, get him for 1. We have 5 in the yard, we already have our 2 Hedge Mazes. This will be 6, we'll just pass. We'll flash in Ice Fang at the end of their turn. We can hold up Force and Negation, Hardcast, Flare, Hardcast. We just have to keep them off any cost reducers. They put Opera to the yard, and they play another one. Another Ruby Medallion. So this is how they get out of it, by casting these exile spells and kind of outvaluing us. But we're just going to focus on the cost reducers. They could also cast Valakut Awakening and kind of refuel their hand. Probably not the worst idea. Alright, they cast that. Get a Forest. I'm just going to hard cast. You could save that for like a Piff, but I want to use it on a non-creature spell. Alright, they fetch again. Okay, Impulse. Flash in Ice Fang. And I'm not going to flare this Subtlety. Okay, there's a Ral. Subtlety's going to be really good for Ral here. Another Oculus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can cast Oculus, and then we can pitch Subtlety. I think we do that just to kind of close out the game. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll pass, and then they're dead if they have nothing. Brazen Borrower. Because we have Subtlety on Ral, and then we have Flare on whatever. So I'll pitch Oculus. So they need 2 cost reducers here. They're actually not dead next turn. Yeah, they're just like sandbagging it. So they've drawn pretty well, considering we're countering everything. So they are going to have 1 more turn. We draw Ice Fang. Play that. Birthing Ritual. Play that. Attack with all. Trigger Birthing Ritual. I was hoping to hit a Harbinger. Or Endurance or something. We'll sack here. Get an Oracle. I was hoping for a counterspell. Put Thundertrap Trainer underneath, and then see if they can kill us. They draw. They go to 1. Tell me they hit the cost reducer or something. Oh man, they hit Wish. So they can go Desperate Ritual, but they can't like board wipe Oculus. They could Wish for like Brotherhood's End and wipe everything except for Oculus. They do cast Wish. They cast Ritual, and they concede. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what they were looking for. Alright, so against Storm, we want Endurance. We want another Force Negation. That's kind of it. Consign is always like medium. So Force, Endurance. Brazen Borrower's bounce can actually be pretty annoying for them, but they can kind of just recast it, so it's maybe not the greatest. Just like end of turn bounce. Don't think we need that. I still like the Harbinger. They do run a lot of mountains, but if they're running planes for anything to get rid of our stuff, like Prismatic Ending or Orm's Chant, I'll just go 2-2 like that. Alright, game 2, and this hand would be amazing because we have Flare, Thundertrap, and Endurance, but if we had a fetch land I would keep, Breeding Pool, I really do want to keep this, but I'm gonna try to be good about it. This is a 2-lander with double here. We're gonna keep it, put back an Oculus. Not the greatest hand. Hopefully we can keep a Seiju for a Medallion. Most likely just gonna Thundertrap, hold up Flare. But they are gonna get something underneath of us. We'll just go Island Pass, and they get a Surveil land. They keep it on top. They play Ren's Resolve, and they find Ruby Medallion and Flage. So that's another reason to Harbinger. Turn off the way for Flage. At least we have the answer for Medallion. So we're going to have to play the land, unfortunately. Let's play Oracle, because I want to make our land drops, and we already have the Flare, so we don't have to look for it. We find an Ice Fang. Really want to hit a land drop. Curious if they want to just Flage here, just to get to the yard. They do. We're fine with that. If they're not going to cast Medallion, we're assuming they have one in hand. They would never just leave this out in the open like that. We do draw the land. Play Thundertrap. I want to Surveil with this. Find a Birthing Ritual. Play Misty, and then we'll pass. So I'd like to double spell next turn if possible. Ice Fang and Ritual, or Thundertrap, Ritual. Definitely want to get this down. Orm's Chant. Again, this is why Harbinger's good. Shut off the white. I mean, we have to counter this, as annoying as that is. Even if they have nothing. Surveil. Medallion. Yeah, that's like the unfortunate part there. And they're fueling the yard for Flage. So let's get a Hedge Maze for Surveil. Ice Fang to the yard. Another Flare is good, but no land. So we're going to Thundertrap. Find another Birthing Ritual. Yeah, breaking on land sucks. We have Subtlety for Ral or Flage, and then just Flare for something. Ren's Resolve, we let that go. They hit 2 lands. I feel like we have to kind of be greedy about this, and hopefully they don't hit well. They cast Pass in Flames, so they have 1 land. They don't have any rituals. They'd have to like cast a ritual. I'm gonna let that go, and then just counter the ritual. Or they just get 1 flashback. So they played Piff for 1 spell, but obviously now they have it in the yard, so they can just do more. And they hit another one. Coiling Oracle. Yeah, we just keep bricking on lands. Turn 5. We'll play that. Another Flare. So they know about the Flare now. Attack for 1 and just pass. This is like the worst thing to happen to you as a control player. Orm's Chant. We'll cast Flare. Let them cast Impulse. We're just going to need to counter the Piff, but then we're just going to be screwed because they're going to have Piffs in the graveyard. I would love it if they just went for Flage here. So if this resolves, they have a land drop. They can Ren's Resolve, Reckless Impulse. We're probably losing, so we're going to have to counter that too. There's Harbinger. It sucks because Harbinger doesn't do anything. Like, it shuts off their Flage, but they can just cast Piff next turn and win. And we have nothing for their graveyard. Let's cast Ice Fang. Oh, God. Yeah, we're almost 20 cards in, and we've only seen 3 lands. We started with 2 lands. We've only seen 1 land in, like, all of this. They start with Valakut Awakening. Manamorphose. Okay, well, actually, they decide to cast Flage. Good for us. It's, like, tempting to pitch the Harbinger just to keep the Ice Fang for more draws. But the Harbinger would shut them out of white. Doesn't really matter. It'll shut us off green, so I'm just going to pitch the Harbinger here. Yeah, I don't know why they just didn't like go for the win here. I mean, they still can, but this will just stall them a second. All right, so they have Chant, Resolve, and Piff in the yard. We still have drawn nothing. Let's attack. I think we just need to like Ritual out an Endurance or something. This is like so sad. I really just want to get Oculus out, but they can go Resolve, Manamorphose. Yeah, let's just Ritual. Like, you could risk casting Ice Fang, looking for a land again, but we're just bricking so hard. We're so behind. There's Endurance. Sack Ice Fang, get Endurance, target them. So they have 4 cards in hand. They could still just like crush us. Another Flage. They target us. Land. Yeah, so if we hit any lands like this whole time, we would have been, the game would have been over. They're just fetching to thin their deck. Yay, a land. Just attack. I'm gonna cast Oculus this turn. I mean, it's tempting to, actually, you know what? I mean, we put some to the bottom. I was gonna say we can cast Ice Fang double Ritual. Maybe that's a better play. Get the redraw, Oracle. Yeah, let's go double Ritual. See if we can find some good stuff. Endurance again. We'll sack here. Endurance them. No more Flage. We'll say okay. We'll sack here. Put an Oculus. All right. They have 2 cards in hand. There's all the lands. Take Breeding Pool. We find Breeding Pool. Just gonna shock that in. They're down to 6. We just need to find like a counterspell or something. So let's start with Oracle. Subtlety is decent. Because we have the win, I'm just going to Shardless Agent looking for something for like a redraw. Like Oracle. Thunder Trap. Alright, Ritual time. Sack here. Get a Shardless. Ritual. Sack here. Get an Ice Fang for the redraw. Another Oculus. Alright, so they have 1 turn. Damn, and we got there. Crazy. Alright, match 2 on the draw, and this is a 1-lander, so we're gonna mulligan. Alright, we are gonna keep this. It's not the greatest, but put back an Oculus. Just looking to surveil and do Thunder Trap and find some good stuff. Scalding Tarn. So this is gonna be energy. Ragavan. Pretty tough on the draw here. Misty, pass. So they are gonna get the connect. They get in for 2. They find a Coiling Oracle. It sucks we have no like flares or forces or anything. A Johnny. Probably not winning this game just based off of this right here. Which is like crazy to say, but get a Hedge Maze. Borrower to the graveyard. Another Sink isn't good. So we'll fetch, just play a Thunder Trap. We need something to block Ragavan, even though this is probably going to die. Oh, we brick hard. Alright, 2 mana, 1/2. I feel like they're just going to Galv discharge this, get in with everything. Hopefully not play Bombardment, flip a Johnny, kill us. Ghost Quarter. Oh, this is the other version. It's still going to play all the energy stuff, but it has kind of some fun stuff like that. Flage, same difference. It's more of like a prison-y deck. To get in with everything. They hit a Thunder Trap, which they can cast if they want. They do cast it. I kind of like this because that means their hand's weak, but their board presence is already really good. Endurance. Well, we have to play this tapped. Play an Ice Fang. Another Oculus. So we're not really drawing well, and then they already have all this. So, not optimistic here. Reckless Pyro Surfer. So this is like energy, landfall. This is haste. They're just like landfalling themselves. And this gets Battle Cry. And we're dead. Alright, so up against Boros, Energy, Landfall. We have the Stern Scoldings. That's about it. Take out Brazen Borrower. Bring in these 3. They got like 1 Subtlety. We'll try that. We have the main deck Oculus if we can get that down. We just need to kind of stall. This is like fine. Turn 2 Oracle, turn 3 Shardless. Start with a Misty Rainforest. We don't have any Flares or Stern Scoldings, which would be nice. But I feel like we can't throw this back. They just go Sacred Foundry, untapped. Get a Hedge Maze. Oracle to the yard. Ice Fang. Play Island and then just play our own Oracle. Nice, we had a fetch land. Definitely don't mind ramping here so we can triple spell, double spell as fast as possible. They shock that in and do nothing. Curious. GOP'd. Okay. Yeah, so this is just Boros Landfall. This card will like wreck you. Like hilariously. We'll surveil. Ice Fang to the yard. And First Strike means Death Touch doesn't mean anything. Alright, so we're just gonna try to gum up the board so we can just like chump this stuff. It doesn't have trample, so I don't mind playing these 2 out. So we'll get a forest, start with an Oracle. We're also looking for like flares and stuff. Another land. Actually, should we just play out the Shardless? Oh, actually, let's just play out Oculus. What are we thinking? I didn't realize we had 6 in the yard. Oh, that's just because we just hit that land, so that's fine. Alright, Oculus triggers. Put that there. This is what you want in this matchup. You also want them to not have the energy start. They attack for 3. We're just going to chump. Just in case. They could like Ghost Quarter, Flagstones, and get 2 lands and trigger this twice. So hopefully they don't have anything that gives us trample. Alright, they do Ghost Quarter themselves. So if we didn't block, they would have done this. Curious why they're doing this now. Alright, they bolt. They must have... Oh, okay, that makes more sense. Double bolt. Alright, so they used a lot to get rid of that. Oh, there's a flare too. That would have been hilarious. Let's start with a Shardless Agent. Oh, we hit Stern Scolding. That's the downside of running counterspells. Get him for 1. I want to leave 2 back just in case they kill 1 and try to get in with the other. Alright, they play Flagstones. They get in for just 3. I'm just going to let that go. Down to 13. Flage. That's fine. We're just going to Endurance it anyway. They hit Shardless. We'll cast Ice Fang, end step for a land. Another Oracle. Let's go Delta. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Just get this tapped. Cast Oracle. Find a Subtlety. So we should have cast Oracle first, because then we could just hold up Subtlety for this, but it's kind of whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're just going to do this main phase. But they would have known about the Subtlety anyway. So let's attack. We have to start ending this game. Put them down to 17. Another Flage. They eat Oracle. So now they're making the land drops. So we're just going to make them use it. This is fine. If they want to Ghost Quarter their Flagstones, they're going to do that anyway. So we have to block so we don't take... Alright, so they do all this. Endurance dies. Now we just want to draw an Oculus. Pyro Surfer. I'll counter that. Probably don't need to. We draw another land. Kind of annoying. I don't think we have any more fetchables either. I think we just have to pass, because I have to chump here. Do we just, like, Rattlesnake this? Or do we just double block? They're just going to kill Ice Fang? And they bolted. Okay. Another Flage. Ugh. Alright, we have to let that go, because if we subtlety that now... These draws have been horrendous. I mean, here we go. We're just going to pass. Hopefully they just cast Flage before they attack, but I guess they're not going to. Get him for 1. Just cast Flage. Yay. Alright. So, like, this goes back to their hand. Like, they're going to draw it next turn. Ugh, Stern Scolding. Just, like, not good enough. We can't even attack because we want them to kill this with Flage. And we can't counter it. Oh, they target us. Do they have a land drop? They don't. So it does suck that this has to be on defense. Cast Harbinger. And we just have to chill again. Because if we attack and they make a land drop, they attack, we have to chump. We turn off their white, but they can just bolt this always. We can always attack with Harbinger. Now we can play these out because they're islands. We can actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cast with Offspring. Take a Force. Make another one. Ooh, Birthing Ritual. It's got to be Birthing Ritual, right? Not Flare? Yeah, I think we're too far behind. Let's attack. Put them down to 21. They have no white mana. Alright, they make a land drop. Easy chump. Sink into Stupor. That can actually be pretty good. Start with Birthing Ritual. We'll attack like this. I'm going to just value Sink into Stupor if they do anything. We should have attacked with Thunder Trap actually, because we're going to Ritual it anyway, most likely. We find Oculus, so that's fine. But yeah, we should have attacked with that, assuming we were going to hit something. Oculus is a really good hit. Oh, another Oculus. Things are turning around, huh? End step. Flip over Oculus. Double Sink into Stupor. Let's attack with everything. Crazy we turn this around. Birthing Ritual triggers. Find Ice Fang. Sack Subtlety. Go to Ice Fang. Find Shardless. Take Shardless. Endurance. Wow, when we get there. Was not expecting to get there with those draws. So Harbinger was amazing there, but it was only amazing because they used all the bolts on everything else. It does shut off their white, and it does force them to use a bolt on it. How tempting is that? But they just make land drops, but it does shut off their Ghost Quarters and Tarkir lands. Dispute can be good for tempo. Subtlety. I feel like Force just isn't good here. Endurance is probably good just for like flash stuff. I mean, fortunately they didn't hit the energy side of their deck. So I think we'll just bring in the Subtlety, leaving the Harbinger of just a 1 of. I'll try that. Alright, game 3, and we're going to keep this hand. It has Stern Scolding into Oracle, Birthing Ritual, eventually cast Oculus. They do have a turn 1 play. Hellhound. Alright, and they just pass. So this is annoying just because it does get +2/+2, and it's already on the field, so we can't really get rid of it. So let's just go Island, go. Assuming we're going to Stern Scolding. Otherwise, we just Misty Surveil. They do have the fetch land. They attack, they fetch mid-attack, get him for 4. Okay, they play a Johnny, good Stern Scolding target, we will take it. Agent. So we're going to go down to 15, play an Oracle, something to chump block with, find another Sink into Stupor. We just have to pass. So hopefully they don't have a Bolt for this. Like, Bolt fetch land would be awful. Pyro Surfer. Oh god, this is even worse. Alright, at least we get to chump something, unless they have the Bolt also. Wow, okay. Attack for 8. Draw the Hedge Maze. I'm gonna Misty. We're gonna have to just Shardless and chump again. Get Island. Shardless. Hopefully not hit Stern Scolding. Okay, Thunder Trap's pretty good. Find Birthing Ritual. Not the greatest. Would have liked a Flare or something. So we're at 6. Goblin Guide. Into Ghost Quarter. So we're taking 4 no matter what. Oh no, we're actually gonna be taking... Yeah, so we're taking 4 because this is going to trigger this. Battle Cry. We reveal Flare of Denial. I think we have to block here to kill Goblin Guide and here just to chump. Down to 4. And we know we're drawing Flare. Let's play Hedge Maze. We're just going to cast Oculus. Land to the yard. Try to stabilize here. They have no cards in hand. Oculus triggers. Good Endurance. Sucks that we're going to have to chump, most likely. Because this represents... Oh, they do have the land drop. Yeah, we're just going to have to chump here. Because this represents... But if this attacks, then it dies. We'll see if they want to attack. Oh, that's really good for us. Alright, we're stabilizing. Play this tapped. Oh, we can actually double Ritual, but let's just play out more, like, chump blockers. Especially with Flare. God, we break again. Play Ritual. We could hold this open to flip. I'm not going to. Let's attack. I think we have to be somewhat aggressive here. We have the flare, we have 2 jump blockers. Breathing Ritual triggers. Oh, nice. We find Endurance. Sack here, get Endurance, target them. So we don't have a blue creature that we want to get rid of. We'll take the Seiju. Like, if we have to flare this, we will, but we don't really want to, obviously. They find another land. I'm surprised they're running the lands out if they're not going to attack, but maybe they attack now? They do attack. So this is representing... So if they Ghost Quarter here, they make another land drop. It'll be a 4... block like that. Well, no, this is past the point, so yeah, it'll still be a 4/5. Yeah, they kill the Endurance, but they lose their creature. That's fine with us. Another sink. I think we've drawn all our sinks. At this point, we're just going to keep them for spells. Let's attack here. We can just attack here and like be safe. We don't have to go crazy. We have Flare for their next thing, and then we're just going to be making a thing, and we can always flip Endurance. So we can just pass, honestly. Breathing Ritual. Look at the cards. Ooh, I accidentally clicked on a Manifest token, and that doesn't work. It's okay, though. Yeah, because a Manifest token is 0, so you're not, like, doing anything. Put Stone Scalding there. I mean, again, we have the Flare for whatever they cast. It doesn't really matter. They're dead. But yeah, don't click on your tokens. And we win. All right, match 3 on the draw, and we don't have any early plays. We have, like, Ritual with no creatures. We have a lot of pitch spells, but nothing to pitch, so we're going to mulligan. All right, we will keep this hand. Put back the extra breeding pool. We have Surveil Land into Oracle into Shardless Agent. Decent curve. Start with a Bloodstained Mire. Let's see if this is energy. Just a Thundering Falls. Could be Prowess. It is Prowess. They put Mutagenic Growth into the graveyard. We draw another Shardless Agent. Let's Surveil. All lands to the yard. We'll keep anything relevant. We'd love a Flare. Land to the yard. They play Swift Spear. I feel like they're stuck on 1 land. Bauble. They crack Bauble, looking at themselves, and they get him for 2. Alright, they pass back to us. Their Bauble triggers. We're just going to play Oracle out and hopefully make some land drops or find something like a Flare. Wow, we found the Flare already. Cool. Play out Oracle. This will just be like... I guess we... man, I guess do we chump or do we save Flare for something? That's the question. I guess it depends on what they cast. If they go to cast Slick Shot, we'll probably Flare it. And we do hit the fetch land, which is awesome because we can Surveil. They do find their second land. I would love for them to cast a Slick Shot. Or just, I don't even know, Iteration? Do we care about Iteration if they're already playing their land drop? Alright, they are attacking. So now we gotta decide if they're just going to... Like, if we just block here and avoid all of this for them pumping it? I guess they're not gonna give us an option here. They're attacking and then they're gonna cast a spell. Like, bolting this so we don't chump? Oh, just Lava Dart. That's probably the best thing they could have had. Yeah, we're not gonna counter this. And by best thing, I mean just best thing for Flare and Oracle. Alright, they have the Mutagenic. Hopefully they don't have the... Double Strike too? That'd be pretty annoying. They could flashback Lava Dart. Okay, they don't have it. Let's go to 12, get a Surveil Land. Birthing Ritual. Tempting. Yeah, let's keep it on top. We're just gonna cast Shardless Agent and play Breeding Pool tapped. And then next turn we can play Birthing Ritual into something. Hopefully find Oculus, like always. Well, we find Thunder Trap. Good value. No, we find another Birthing Ritual. That's not good. So at least we have 2 things to flare. We can just like chump and flare, whatever. Play this tapped and pass the turn. If anything, we can play this untapped to play Shardless and Birthing Ritual, but I really don't want to bolt this in against the Prowess deck. Another Swift Spear. I don't think I'm going to flare that. I wish they'd just cast a 2-mana spell. Again, the awkward thing is blocking one or the other, not having flare up, and then we have nothing for Birthing Ritual. Alright, they are going to move to combat, and they choose not to get in. Bold choice. We draw Oracle. So that's actually a fantastic draw because we're going to cast Oracle and then cast a Ritual. This is a really good draw, so that means we don't have to shock this in or bolt this in. And we get a land. So now it's like, do we even want to play this? We will play Birthing Ritual. It's tempting to just like flood the board here. But yeah, I'm not going to bolt this in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. Go 3, 5. Yeah, I don't think we need this. So we'll just pass and trigger Birthing Ritual. Hopefully hit an Oculus or an Endurance. We hit Ice Fang. I mean, something. Not the greatest hit. It's a redraw for another Ice Fang. Now we'll just pass. Alright, so they cast Preordain. It's really tempting to actually flare this. I think I'm going to let it go, though. I think I'm going to focus on hitting creatures. Or, like, Violent Urge. It's close, though. Because you know they just top deck that. Alright, they do top. So they find a land. So yeah, potentially a good counter. Hard to say. It's always hard to counter cantrips, unless they're definitely breaking on lands. But 2 lands is, like, good enough. Alright, they crack Bloodstained Mire, so they have action. They get a mountain. We have chump blockers, so I don't really care what they do. This doesn't have Death Touch yet either. Alright, they cast Lightning Bolt, targeting Shardless Agent. We're going to let that go, because there's no point in flaring that. And if they attack with both, we're only gonna chump with Thunder Trap, just in case they have like Violent Urge on the other one, and then we can flare this one. They do cast Lava Dart on the Ice Fang. So now these are 4/4s. Let's see if they have removal for Thunder Trap. Doesn't look like it. So we're just gonna chump. This is totally fine. Chump here. Go to damage, okay. I was almost half expecting them to do something else. Go down to 8. All right, do we want to crack this? I think we do. We'll go to 7. Because we want the land and we want a snow permanent. Get the island. We already have the other island in the graveyard. We draw a Thunder Trap. Start with a Shardless Agent. Birthing Ritual, number 2. Not really what we want. Play Ice Fang. I guess we should just play this tapped. All right, that lands. We have 2 looks at like Oculuses or Endurance or whatever. Actually 12 looks between both of these. We draw another Ice Fang. Play this tapped. Trigger 1. We find Oracle or Thunder Trap. Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll take Thunder Trap because it doesn't die to Lava Dart. And we can find like another Ritual or another Flare. Not that the Flares are doing much because they're just killing our creatures. All right, find another Birthing Ritual. I guess we'll take it. Birthing Ritual number 2. Come on, good hits. All right, look at the cards. We find Oculus. We're going to take Oculus. All right, and we'll pass the turn. All right, we trigger Oculus, and we find both of these. We'll just put Misty underneath. So now we have Flare with Shardless. We have Oculus to block, Manifest Token to block. All right, so they plot a show-off. So that means we can just sit back and do nothing, which is nice. They have nothing. They have no Lava Darts in the graveyard. So we get a nice turn of reprieve. It's crazy we've seen all 4 Birthing Rituals, and so let's start with... So we could Offspring this, but we're just going to cast this like normal. So we can go Thunder Trap Trainer, Ice Fang, Ice Fang. We have 2 rituals we can pitch these away to. Just looking for more flares just to play it safe. But we're just going to flare their Slick Shot, and that's probably game. Damn, we break again. We hit double Oculus Endurance. So they go to the bottom, which sucks because we want all of those with the rituals. So I'll cast Ice Fang. We hit a land. Play this tapped. Let's cast another Birthing Ritual. So we can have 3 looks at some like crazy stuff. And by 3, I mean 18. Just attack with Oculus, just because they could double block here. Not that it would matter. We could attack with all 3. I want to leave this back because we can't Birthing Ritual it, but we could Birthing Ritual this. All right, they go to 8. Go to our end step. We get 3 Birthing Ritual triggers. Let's see what we find. We do find the Endurance. So we'll sack this, get the Endurance, target them. We find Shardless Agent and Brazen Borrower. We'll sack here, put the Shardless Agent in. Then we'll sack probably Shardless Agent again. We find Oculus. Nice. Sack here. Get an Oculus. Number 2. And that should be game. We have Flare. We're just going to counter their Slick Shot. We have Endurance for all that. We'll put Subtlety there. So we have Subtlety, Force Negation, Misty Rainforest. All right, they top deck a land. So we know their hand is 2 spells and then Slick Shot. Their Slick Shot. We're going to counter that. Oh, they cast Iteration. That's a good one. Can't imagine that gets there, but if anything's going to get there, that's the best card. They reveal Slick Shot. So they can't cast that. I guess you know what's funny? Maybe we shouldn't have countered the Slick Shot because we have that covered. Like we have everything covered. The only way we lose is if they have a lot of burn. But they haven't been using it. But I do think that maybe we should save it for the burn. All right. We win game 1. Opponent has a minute left on their clock. So we're just going to hit submit and it'll be fine. What would we bring in for this matchup? I guess the Stern Scoldings. If we're like actually trying to play and we bring in the Disputes, probably Force, take out Borrower, take out Shardless Agent. That's probably how we'd board. All right, this hand's a little slow. We have turn 1 Surveil, turn 2 Oracle, turn 3 Thunder Trap, or Endurance. I think we can try it on the draw. Again, it's not going to matter because they're at like 30 seconds, but if we were playing for real, you'd want to try to gum up the board and get some value here. Start with a Swift Spear, and they get them for 1. And then they time out. All good. Match 4 on the draw, and I think we can keep this hand. We have Surveil land into maybe Bounce or Ritual into Shardless Agent. Oh, it looks like we're up against Living End. Just kidding, we're up against Asmo. Mox Opal, Underworld Cookbook. Pretty good start for them. Subtlety is actually going to be pretty good against Asmo. So let's just go Verdant Catacombs and pass. They cast Thoughtseize. They take Birthing Ritual. It's not like the worst. It's like our turn 2 play, I guess, but we can just hold up Brazen Bar or Bounce. They play Watergrave tapped. We will get a Hedge Maze. Ice Fang. We'll keep that on top. It's a turn 2 play if we don't bounce anything. And we can always flash that in and Flare of Denial. Where's this Saga? Monument to Endurance. We're actually just going to flare this because they already have the cookbook out. Draw another Ice Fang, and we'll just counter it. Draw an Oculus. As much as I want to Besage you this, I think we're just going to Shardless Agent here. Try to get as much value as possible. There we go. Oracle. And we can fuel the yard for Oculus. Thunder Trap. And they're not activating Cookbook, so they like the cards in their hand. They might just sit back and make tokens, which we can always bounce one. Another Monument. Or they're just saving Cookbook for Monument value. They discard Push and draw a card. So basically they cycle and make a food. Alright, they pass back to us. We draw a land, which is good. I want to be making my land drops. Now we got to decide if we want to bounce this for tempo or what. Them down to 13. Not sure what they're going to get with this. They could get just another Cookbook. I think I'm going to bounce this main phase. And then I will Thunder Trap. Probably should have Thunder Trap first. Just, we weren't sure what we were doing. Because yeah, now we draw Force, which is fine because now we can just force it on the calm down. They do make a construct. See if they have, what's it called? They don't. They just get another Mox Opal. Frog. So we could subtlety that. It's kind of annoying. I'm just going to let it go. Could be worth subtlety pitching like Oculus, but I really want to get Oculus down. Might be worth it to tempo them out. Draw another land. Could always block Frog with Ice Fang, so I don't mind. We have 4 cards in the yard. Can't really attack into this, so I think we're just going to pass. We can hold up Flash Borrower, Force, Ice Fang. We'll see if they want to get in. They discard Monument. So we're definitely going to trade Frog here. See if they want to give this flying. They don't even give it flying. They have 3 cards in hand. Alright, let's fetch. Assuming they have like a push maybe if we cast this. Alright, they do give it flying now. Get the island. Flash and Ice Fang. It's like Frog's worst enemy. Birthing Ritual. Pretty good. Move to blocks. Easy block. Asmo. Yeah, that's fine. I really don't want to like subtlety pitching any of these, to be honest. They get a Cookbook. They're going to play the Cookbook. Like, yeah, they can kill our stuff, but our stuff doesn't really matter. It's mostly value creatures. So we'll cast this end of turn. They discard another Monument. They kill this main phase. Interesting. Sink into Stupor. So now we get to do both, which is pretty cool. So let's start by casting an Oculus, and then we get to Birthing Ritual. We still can't attack in, but now we have Birthing Ritual to find maybe an Endurance or something. Another Oculus, we will take that. 3 Shardless Agents and an Oculus. Pretty hard to beat this. Double Oculus triggers. Take a Flare. Oh, another Oculus. So now we have Subtlety and Force with whatever they cast. They could discard 2 spells and kill 1, but they're still dead. Alright, pretty good showing. We definitely want the Oofs, the Force of Vigor, Endurance. Probably don't need the Force Negations. One of Harbinger seems fine, I think. Again, Borrower is medium-ish. I feel like we keep boarding this out. These are fantastic, though. Consign is decent, because it does counter Endurance, or Monument. But they are a Frog deck, so we just want to clear their graveyard, which is why Brazen Borrower might be decent. Let's just try this. We'll change it if we need to in the next game. Alright, this is a 1-lander, barely, so we're going to mulligan. Alright, this is not the greatest hand. We'll put back a Flare, and try that. Not the greatest hand. We have a lot of surveilling to be doing, and they have a Thoughtseize. Probably take Shardless. Oh, they take Oculus, okay. We're fine with that, because we're not casting that for a while. Endurance is a pretty good pickup. Edge Maze, land to the yard. Into Frog, sure. Breeding Pool. Play Misty and pass. This is probably like their best sequence, Thoughtseize into Psychic Frog. So we're going to take a hit, and then we're going to have Shardless, Endurance, Flare. Oh man, another Thoughtseize. See which one they take. Endurance, okay. And they discard an Archon. We did not know about an Archon in their deck. I guess they're a Persist build, so Endurance is even better. But they discard it. Get another Hedge Maze. Beseju, we'll Graveyard. Subtlety could be decent. We're going to cast Shardless Agent. Birthing Ritual. This is like a pretty sick outcome because now we get to Birthing Ritual away the Shardless Agent, hopefully hit an Endurance or an Oculus if they don't do anything here. Alright, Birthing Ritual triggers. We find the Endurance. Definitely taking that. Oh no, they discard another Archon. So the only downside to getting rid of Shardless Agent is now we don't have Flare up. So if they have Persist, it's not looking good for us. We can't block. I want to keep this around for Birthing Ritual. Third, Thoughtseize. So they're definitely going to take Subtlety. So now we have Hardcast Flare. So we can like save that for Persist, I guess. Another one. Put them down to 9. Play this tapped. Find Coiling Oracle. Let's take Thunder Trap though. More looks at Sink into Stupor. That's fine. Because now we can bounce this. Oh, the Fatal Push. Let's sink this first in response. Hopefully they don't have the Persist. Just Frog, okay. Another sink. Pretty awkward because I want to keep bouncing this. This is not playing around like another Persist. Alright, they discard a card. See if they want to discard more. They do. Okay, nice. So that's why you wait. They're a little flooded, so they're trying to get some value here, and we're just kind of tempoing them out. They've replayed Psychic Frog. Oracle. That's really good, actually. Oculus. Alright, so we can cast that next turn. And we get to Birthing Ritual this way. We find an Oculus. So we'll sack here, get an Oculus. Oculus is just so good. The fact that it has flying is just so stupid. If they have Persist, we're going to have to flare it. It looks like they're Toxic Deluge. X equals 5. Actually, turn this up, and then we will flare it, sacking Thunder Trap. Insane value. Like, they can't get in, and then we're just going to keep getting more and more value. Subtlety. So what's funny is they have to block now, or they're dead. Attack for 5. They give it flying, they chump. Now we can cast a second one, and we'll pass. We have Flare, Subtlety, so much value. We'll say no. Usually, most of the time, you're not getting rid of any of your Oculus. Ice Fang, land, and we win. All right, welcome to the trophy match on the play. And we're going to keep this hand. We have some Surveillance, nice turn 2, turn 3. That's like one good thing about this deck is you can always just surveil on turn 1. So we'll play Misty. Let's see what they're on. Looks like Frog. Undercity Sewers. Not going to be the easiest matchup. Yeah, they put Counterspell in the yard. We'll get a Hedge Maze. Brazen Borrower. You know, Borrower's not the worst in this matchup, but I'm going to be looking for land drops, so I'm going to graveyard this. It's really good tempo if they have Frog and you can just flash it in. All right, we draw another Shardless. Definitely looking for lands, so hopefully Oracle can find them. Go Island, cast Oracle. Hopefully we can flare their Frog. Third Shardless Agent. Oof, okay. We'll pass the turn. Hopefully we hit a land for Shardless Agent. There's Frog. Right on time. Come on, land. Subtlety. All right, let's try again. Sink into Stupor. Close enough. So now we have 3 agents just to spam out, hopefully. We have tempo bouncing either a large Murktide, Oculus, something. Consider. They discard a Murktide. They find a land. Ice Fang. We'll attack. Cast Shardless. They don't have Counterspell up, so this should resolve. And Cascade's really good against control decks. Just like outvalue. Yeah, like look at all this. All right, they're fetching. They get an island. Oh, Bowmasters. Okay. It's actually really good against us. So they get to ping the Oracle, and then they can ping the Ice Fang. I guess we could have subtletied that. I was like 2 in awe with the value. Yeah, we should have subtletied that. I was like, wow, that's really good. Play this tapped and pass. Not the biggest deal, but could have avoided that. They attack with the token. We're going to take it, and then just pass. Birthing Ritual. So not having double green is a little awkward. Let's just cast Shardless Agent. See if they want to counter something. Oh, they have another Bowmasters. It's kind of annoying. All right, they shock in Water Grave. Oh, push. Okay, that's fine. Birthing Ritual. That's a good one. But that's going to get counterspelled most likely. Hardcast Force. Oh, sink into Stupor. They sink the Birthing Ritual. All right, we'll pass. You definitely don't want to be missing land drops in the control mirror. They get them for 2 again. We'll take it. They cling a Flare. That's fine. They shock in a Water Grave. Are we assuming this is a Murktide? We're definitely going to subtlety this. If it eats a counterspell, we'll just bounce it. Pitch an Ice Fang. Most likely going to eat a counterspell again, which is fine. So now they're tapped out. They have no cards in hand. Now we get to resolve everything. So let's start with bouncing this. Unfortunately, we didn't draw a land again. But we'll bounce that, cast Birthing Ritual, get him for 2. Hopefully hit something amazing here. We don't. Ugh. We'll take Ice Fang, but we're going to get pinged. We find the Endurance, actually. That's not bad. 1, 2, so they can cast it like a small Murktide. This sucks because every time we cast Ice Fang, it gets pinged and we can't keep it around. I think we have to pitch this now because they could play a 5/5 and it would just be super annoying. So we know they have a Murktide in hand and a mystery card. Yeah, imagine if we subtlety this instead of just basking at it. I guess we'll cast Shardless. Turn 7, we've just bricked on lands. Thunder Trap's pretty good. Spell Snare. All right, so hopefully we hit Oculus here. We do. So now we get to trigger Oculus. Oh, we find another one. Thoughtseize. They're going to take Ice Fang. And they have a Murktide in hand, that's it. So now we actually get to flip the Oculus and start triggering it twice. The value is just going to be like too much to handle for them. Land. So let's flip this. Cast Ritual. Get him for 5. And we get there. All right, against Murktide, we want the Disputes, the Force. We can take out Harbinger. I mean, Harbinger can be cheesy, because if they don't get the Swamp, man, okay, let's see. So if we definitely want these 4, you guys know I like being cheesy with the moon effects. Stern Scolding's actually like really good too against Frog and Bowmasters, so I think we want those. So maybe we take out the Forces. We need 3 more cuts. Maybe Subtlety's not like the greatest. I'll try that. I know we're bringing in Stern Scolding and keeping in Shardless Agent, but I think the value's too good. All right, we'll try this. Like, there's only 3 hits that you could, like, brick on, so it's not a big deal. Tapped Water Grave is good for us, so we can play Misty and just Mystical Dispute the Frog. Into Thunder Trap. Oh, nothing. Get a Hedge Maze. Birthing Ritual, I'll keep on top. Play another Hedge Maze. Endurance, I'll keep on top. I think I want the Birthing Ritual just because it generates so much value. I feel like it's fine. Oh, and they just have no third land. That's really big. Play out Thunder Trap. Like, we know they have all spells in hand, so if they want to waste counter spells and stuff on this, we're totally fine with that. It's just such like an annoying thing to counter. Like, we have to get it out of their hand eventually. All right, they find a Surveil land. They put a land to the yard. Interesting. Sink. We'll just get an island. Ice Fang. Bolt that in. Just cast Birthing Ritual. See if it eats another counter. We'll hold open Ice Fang and Dispute. Oh, Hardcast Force. Pitching Consign to Memory. So you know they're holding up in like Bowmasters or something. But I feel like they would just cast it. They just couldn't hardcast there. And we're fine with them like 2-for-1ing themselves there. Alright, we are going to Ice Fang here. If they have a Bowmasters and they haven't run it out yet. Have they just been sitting on Bowmat? Okay. I was gonna say. Like, this is huge. This is just like a 2-for-1. We draw the land, which is nice. And we draw an Oculus. So I'll play Delta. Get an island. Get a Shardless Agent. We're gonna try to like end the game fast now, because they're kind of stumbling. I like that they brought in the consigns for the cascades. Yeah, it's so funny. So they're just gonna counter the cascade, but we still get the Shardless Agent. So it's like, whatever. Oh, do they have the Murktide with the counter backup? That's the question. If they do, we might be in trouble. They don't. Phew, that was a close one. We were playing it greedy by not casting Endurance on their graveyard because we had the Dispute. Delta. Get a Breeding Pool. Cast Oculus. They could have Deluge, so I'm just gonna like chill. We can always flash an Endurance at the end of our turn. Thunder Trap's really good, actually. They bounce Oculus, so that means they don't have Toxic. So let's just flash that in at the end step. And they scoop it up. Alright, so we got the 5-0 with Simic Midrange in Modern. This deck looked amazing in this league. There was just so much value with Ice Fang, Oracle, Shardless Agent. The entire deck is just dripping with value and card advantage. And I'll be honest, I was a little reluctant going into it just because it seemed sort of like a pile, but it surprised me and it performed really well. I really liked all the card choices. I think Brazen Bar was probably the weakest of all the cards, but it definitely had its place. And I know we kept Shardless Agent in even though we brought in some like 1-drops. But again, like I said in the video, I think it's fine. The value is just too good to give up on, and if you're just bringing in 3 cards, like, who cares? We did brick once, but it's gonna happen. But overall, I'd say this deck is really awesome. If this is something you're interested in, I'd definitely say give this one a go. But that'll do it for me. Thank you so much for watching this 5-0 video. If you want to see more modern content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. Peace.